So this is the beginning of part 4 of the creating of the tic-tac-toe, and we're going to actually start to go into, and this video link comes from this part right here, is the style, the 1A style XML with it. So the XML file actually comes when you create a new project with it as well. So this video link will be in this place right here is where it's supposed to be with it as well. So this is where we're going to actually define the board, how high, how wide, and the text color that we're going to bring in, and all the size, the dimension of the board game. Basically, this is where everything pulls it in right now with it. All right. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to see go back to our Android Studio IDE. Okay, hold on. All right, so this is beginning of part 5. We're about to code all the XML files with it as well. So before we get started, I want to point out a couple of some things with it as well. The file structure in this project is very important, and you have to maintain the file structure. In this, you can't. First of all, you can't move files around in here with it. If the layout has a layout, it's called activity underscore main.xml. You have to leave it in there. You can't move that file to another directory. These are what's called pseudo directory. They're not actually physical directory where you move in and out directories with it. The second thing is they're just basically a bench, working bench folder with it as well. They're all part of the project with it. The second thing is that you can't rename these files. If I call it main activity.java and the I uppercase, M and the A in there, leave it alone. Don't mess with it. If the files I call in the values, the XML files are lowercase, leave it alone. Do not rename it. You rename any of these files because all of these files, they all talk to each other with it as well. And I'm going to code, in my code, I refer to these files with it. So it's very important that you leave it alone. It is case sensitive, so you got to be careful in how you code this with it as well. So if I uppercase it, you uppercase it. If I lowercase it, you lowercase it. So just some house rule, don't go off and I call it this and you thought you would call it like this and be funny and things. It's not going to work. Okay. The second thing is I want to point out is every program language has what's called there's a beginning and ending. So if I indent in white space, it's because of readability with it as well. Functions uses curly brackets and left and right parentheses with it. You have to use that same parameter as best practice with it. All right. The third thing is everything has reserved words in here as well. So you're going to see, for example, in this particular file that the resources, there's a beginning and there is an ending. You can see that. So there's a beginning and ending. The ending is the / resource. So this is how they actually close it. There's a beginning ending. So we're going to go into this file right now, and we're going to actually start to code some of the stuff that we have right now with it as well. So you have my video right now. So I'd like for you to, if I go too fast, you pause, backward, and I'm going to do the best I can in explaining this thing with it as well. The first file we're going to talk about is the colors in here. All right, the colors is all the colors that you're gonna actually code in here. I'm going to indent in. Make sure you put your name on this and today's date on this. I gave it Easter date with it. That's the only date that I can remember right now. So the first color I'm going to do in this is I'm going to start out with for mine is on line 6. Open up the left bracket, and you're going to. This is XML. So XML is very similar to HTML. Okay, but it's machine language with it, and the attribute, the identifier is called color with elements color, and you're going to call it name. You're going to give an attribute with a property. Let's call this white for now, and I'm going to do one of these, and then you notice that I close off that the greater than sign. It closes off that color tag for me with it as well. Now, hexadecimal white color appears white is 6 Fs in here. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you should have a pure white. If you look at number 6 here, line 6, it has a pure white right here. So I'm going to use this parameter right here, and I'm going to copy. There's about 9 colors in here. Alright, we're going to fill in about 9 colors in here. So I'm going to use the first one. Make sure your syntax is properly done. If your syntax is not done properly with it, you're going to see a little squiggly line, or you shouldn't see anything like that with it, or else you're going to be copying and pasting multiple syntax errors with it as well. So make sure you do that right with it. So highlight that syntax that you just have with it, right? And then we're going to go in, we're going to change the color. So I'm going to select, make sure it's indented in. I copy it, Control C, you go down to the next line, Control V, Enter, Control V, Enter, Control V, Enter. Don't worry, we're going to go in and change colors in here in a second. All right, we need 9 of these things. So that's only 7, 2 more. All right, so my next part is I'm going to go in, because this name right here is going to appear on the code side. And whenever I call white, it's going to pull up this hexadecimal color for the background color, or for a font, whatever that I'm using. So I'm going to use color primary for this second color, and it's going to be the value of it's going to be 0 C Can you see that? So 0CB 3A 3. So if you can please use the exact color as what I'm using. Listen, I'm going to be teaching a UI UX class next fall of 2022. There's a whole design that I'm going to talk about, but for now, this is a programming class for this. We're going to use this as well with it. The second one we're going to use is the primary dark with it. So color primary dark. Okay, and that hexadecimal color. So I'm going to speed this up in a second here. So I should have 9 colors right now. I should have white, color primary dark, accent color accent, maroon, teal, green, blue, navy, black. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I have 10 colors then. I miscounted. I'm so sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe it is 10 colors. Alright, I don't. So we need to change my comment up here to about 10 colors. Alright, so 10 colors with it. So you can see the color palette on the left hand side over here. This ends the. I'm going to tighten this up with it. This is the resource how this works is that we're going to pull the layout, the file, which is the activity underscore main.xml. We're going to pull the layout from it. It's going to pull from this palette right here. All right. So make sure you save this. Control S. All right. So let me leave this up here for a second. I want and you're welcome to pause this. Oh, hang on. I got a syntax error here. So you see I have 2. There we go. Make sure you have what I have. Check your code. You should have, should be all lined up. There should be no squiggly lines or nothing like that. So let me tighten up this code. It should look like this. Let me take out this line right here. So, okay. Let me pause that for a second for you. This is for the colors.xml. So before I depart the video with it, for the colors XML, I want to take a very clean, clear shot of this video for you to see with it. So I zoomed in a little closer so you can see the fonts and the formats and the file structure for the color. This is all XML. Okay, this is XML. It's stated up here with it as well. Okay. So make sure you check you don't have any syntax errors. If you have syntax errors here, when we compile, it's not going to work with it as well. Ignore this little light bulb. Just there we go with it. So don't worry about it when this comes about with it. Okay.